And welcome back. You're still watching Morning Thailand with us. Continue on with the bomb attack case that has been reported in the middle of the night. The attack that has been reported at the residence of Tab Larn National Park senior officer in Prachinburi province at around 3 a.m. of Wednesday.
Wow. Okay.
Police of Wang Khon Dang police station in Prachinburi was reported of a bomb incident at the residence of the assistant of National Park, Tab Larn National Park, Chief Kun Sangwan Sang Sawat, age 47. He was working until 3 a.m. on Wednesday, and when he came home, he was going to bed. And while he was still not asleep yet, he heard a bomb explosion outside his home. But he didn't have a gut to go out in fear for his safety. No.
You should not go out. If you hear any explosion, just remain in the house.
Or gun explosion.
Exactly.
Until the Tab Larn National Park security guard came to visit to inspect the scene. So he turned on the light and found that the windows, the glasses had scattered around the place, and they found a hole around 40 centimeters wide and 18 centimeters deep, and also the parts of the bomb devices scattered at the area in front of his home. Kun Sangwan said that he was taking his subordinates for dinner and came home at around 1 a.m. and when he was going to bed, he was living in this particular home with his girlfriend.
Oh.
So there's no one around.
Right.
And they believe that the incident stemmed from the gangs, what is that? The
illegal woods, the smuggling of woods, right? I think Payung woods, right?
Payung woods. Because Kun Sangwan and also the officers of the Tab Larn National Park had been preventing and also
so they are investigating quite heavily on this particular case. Yeah, the thing is there has been quite a bit of illegal cutting down of the woods itself. And don't forget, Tab Larn National Park is like one of the national park that considered to be almost is actually part of the UNESCO's site as well as for the site where UNESCO actually have referred to as one of those environmental, I guess, national park and such. So the world's national park. So at this point, I believe that this could be one of the reasons why.
One of the reasons, yes, because police have suspected 3 motives for this bomb incident. One of them is the cutting down on the wood smuggling, the Payung wood smuggling. And second was he had just fired 3 of his subordinates for their involvement with this particular smuggling ring. And also the issue of the resort. Because earlier, like last year, there were issues of around 100 resorts that have been located in the area of the Tab Larn, encroaching of the Tab Larn National Park, and authorities have ordered all the hotels and also the residences that have been encroaching the national park to be destroyed. So that might cause a conflict and also causing locals and also hotel operators to upset.
Tough job for them, seriously, because this is one, because we have heard before too, a lot of national parks, I think I report about the hunters before that actually trying to smuggle all the wild animals for one of those delicacy dishes and such that they're trying to hunt for them. So all the animals in the area itself are actually are in danger just as much as the officials at this point. All right, moving on to another case that seems to be on the news quite a bit, and we reported about this before, about the Olympic shooter murder case. Of course, at this point, the police, like yesterday, Kun Phai have reported about the motive that could be focusing on the amulets itself, the conflict with the amulets. Apparently today, the police yesterday has already ruled out the amulets motive, which is very interesting, right? Now, the police said that they believe that that's probably not the case anymore. Plus, the fact that there's a report that came up about his involvement with crystal methamphetamines agency, that one is dropped as well. What came up right now as part of the motive is actually the family conflict. And we have heard before that he has quite a bit of domestic disturbances, and he went into jail for threatening the life of his wife and his children as well. However, at this point, it seems like another motive has came up, and they talk about the brother of his wife. Yes, Dr. Nithiwadi Poo Jareun Yot. Now, her brother, Kun Sunthorn Bunya Thaweewat, excuse me, not Kun Sunthorn, the brother of his wife, actually, they did not disclose his name, unfortunately. However, they said that this particular person, the brother, is a half brother. So they have the same father but different mother. Has shown before that he quite disagreed with the fact that his half sister is going back to stay with Kun X or
her husband.
Kun Chakapan, who passed away.
Kun
Chakrit, excuse me, who passed away due to this particular incident, has been murdered. Now, they said that in this particular incident, the brother has threatened the life of Kun Chakrit before, and they say that due to this particular motive, the police actually believe that there might be a little bit more connections in terms of family conflicts, because it seems like the wife's family are not very happy with the fact that they are going back together. So somehow the police believe that was the case, and the fact that they ruled out the amulets conflict because Kun Sunthorn Bunyat Thaweewat, which I have just mentioned, is actually the amulets most the experts that Kun X went to stay with for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Prior
after he was released from jail, right?
Exactly, because and so the police believe that that should not be the case at all, because apparently they have a long interview with this particular person, Kun Sunthorn, and Kun Sunthorn said that when Kun X went to stay with him for 2 weeks in Nakhon Pathom, he has voiced quite a bit of concern that someone is actually out to get him, and they say that of late, just prior before his death, he has been in quite a bit of a one of those suspicious, being very careful in terms of trying not to do things in routine. They say that sometimes he would drive the car out with his driver, and then on his way back, sometimes he would be the person that sat in the back as a passengers, and sometimes he would drive it and have his drivers sat in the passenger seat instead.
So he had been very well aware of himself.
Exactly. So trying to make sure that there's nothing in routine at all. So the police is trying their best to make sure, and they are looking into this. So this is one of another motive that came up. And they said that the fact that you look at the CCTV camera, they found that prior to this particular shooting, there's one car. They say it's a sedan, it's a bronze color, and they say that this particular car was actually driving in front of the motorcycle that the hitman was actually on. So they believe that this particular car might have been part of the plan as well to actually kill Kun X. So at this point, the police is looking into this particular car as well to see whether or not that is the case. And they say that in terms of the hitman itself, they are trying their best to find out who this is, but due to the fact that CCTV camera doesn't show, exactly, it's not that clear, so that's created quite a bit of problem. But what it shows also is that they were waiting in front of one of the convenience store around the area before they pick up the phone, and that's mean that they're probably someone that giving them tips as well, that now is the time to go, and that's why they were able to kill him on site, despite the fact that he always tried to do things not in routine.
One of the suspects that police are now targeting is his Burmese mate. Because they said that this woman had been working for his wife for quite a long time, and before working for his wife, she was working for a senior policeman.
Yeah, that's close to his wife.
Yes.
Which is actually a friend of the wives of her half brother. So it's all interconnected. This becoming quite, I would say that mesmerized me quite a bit because this just popped up, and yesterday we're still focusing on the amulet mafia. So we're not sure at this point which direction it's going to. So we'll keep you updates on this particular case.
And yesterday, Kun's family had performed like quite a ritual as well at the Porsche vehicle. They have invited a monk to perform a religious rite because his cremation will be held today.
And they believe that if you're in a tragic incident like this, like murder or died of not unnatural cause, then your spirit kind of stick to the place where you last stayed and such. So they would like to invite his spirit to go to the temple.
So this is one of the investigations that we have to keep a close watch on. Now moving on to upcountry, as I said, there's a report of a flood incident because officials say that around 21 provinces still affected from the inundation nationwide. Start in Nakhon Ratchasima or Khorat province, one of the worst affected provinces. Now the water level have increased by 80 to 120 centimeters yesterday in Mitra Phap and Takong Kau communities due to the water runoff from the upstream CQ and Sunan districts. The mayor of Nakhon Ratchasima municipality has warned residents living along the Lamtakong river bank to be on alert around the clock. And one of the affected locals living in this particular area said that they have been living with the flood for a month now, and this is the third time that they have experienced the inundation. He had been told recently from the officers that the situation will drag on for at least 10 days. So that means the situation will forego for like 2 months already. The floodwater has caused an erosion on several roadways as well, and also threatened a bridge linking the Chalerm Prakiat district to Mitra Phap Nong Khai route. And the bridge is on the brink of destruction, so officials had to close it off and bar all cars and vehicles to use this particular bridge. The flood level in Chalerm Prakiat was reported at 2 meters high, while in Pimai district that has been affected by an increasing level as well. The Pimai Mueang Mai market, the local market, and also the Pimai Historical Park remained underwater, even though authorities have installed like 6 pumps, and 2 of them are big pumps to channel water off the area. Up north in Chiang Rai province, it seems that there was a heavy rainfall yesterday that caused the water level of Kham River in Vieng sub-district to rise a little bit and inundated one lane of the local road. Officials have to put up the warnings, warnings to notify locals and commuters to turn off to other roads instead. In Tak province, the downpours during the past few days caused the water level of Wang River to increase and overflowed into nearby communities, flooding the agricultural plantation as well. They reported that more than 1,000 farmlands were destroyed already. Reports said that now the temperature in Tak province had started to drop. On the mountaintop, temperature was reported at around 17 degrees Celsius. So this is starting to get into winter, and Tak has to welcome a lot of tourists who went there to seek the perfect weather condition for the new year.
Wow. Well, we are hoping for a lot of provinces as well, because it seems like the situation is not getting better at all. And that's just sad for Nakhon Ratchasima as well.
And also in Pratchinburi province, one of the worst affected as well, the flood water level was slowly receding. Officers said that due to the obstructions on its way to the Gulf of Thailand, because water from Pratchinburi has to pass Chachoengsao province, which is remaining under flood water as well. So water level in many districts of Pratchinburi province remained above critical level. The Thung Bang Pluong plantation, the province's biggest rice farm, it covers 3 districts, Si Mahapot, the Prathinburi municipality, and also the Ban Sang district. The plantation was affected by the flood and remained underwater as well, while in Chaeng Sao province, water remains at more than 1 meters high in Bang Khanak, Yothada, and Bang Nam Prieu districts. Officials said that residences in the Klong Khuen district have to use boat to commute. And in Ratchasan area, the situation has gone a little bit better. The irrigation department has just temporarily suspended the draining water system from 2 reservoirs so that the flood water started to recede. Yesterday, there was a situation reported in Pattaya as well of Chonburi province because it was raining quite heavily, so water started to clog on some route. And local communities that have quite a bit of problem of a draining system. Because we have seen the pictures of Pattaya before, like last week, that
water just
when we were hit by the effect of the storm. Yes.
Right. So at this point, just brace yourself for rains and floods and such. But I think the authorities are trying their best to relieve all the obviously suffering, as well as try to release some of the water out of the clogging area as well. So we're going to have to wait and see, and hopefully everything will be dry soon for the new year.
Yes.
Now, moving on to one last news for this particular break, there has been a report of a ship that actually have a lot of smuggled goods inside, this including cigarettes as well as the liquor. And one of the, actually I would have to say that quite disturbing item is the glutathione.
Glutathione, yes.
Exactly. Now this particular substance, I guess you can say substance, glutathiones or these chemicals is actually used a lot to make sure that your skin is nice and clear and pale. Everyone in Thailand seems to want to be whiter, and that's one of the main reasons why these smuggled goods seems to be popular. Exactly. And this particular ship actually made its way from Cambodia. Yep, so all the goods are actually smuggled in from Cambodia, and they say that they found altogether over 23 million baht worth of goods and items. And they say that, for example, cigarettes, they call it Texas 5 brand, 23,500 packages of it, as well as the liquor called Sir Edward, about 48 bottles, and this particular glutathiones, 2,210 bottles of these. So at that, which is actually came from Singapore. Now they arrested 3 people altogether, but these are all the captain as well as the sailors in the boat itself. But that means that these are not the one that they're probably looking for in terms of the person that responsible for these particular goods. Now they said that in Suvarnabhumi airport they also found more of the glutathiones in the bags, in 2 luggages as well, that they were able to confiscate, and that's made its way from Singapore.
Yes.
So at this point, for those of you who seems to be addicted to, I guess, plastic surgery and trying to be a little bit whiter, be very, very careful. And if you're not, but your friends are, tell them to be very careful, because there are so many smuggled goods.
Yes.
And you don't know the quality of it, whether or not it's up to
And
standard.
one of the things is the glutathione, how it works is stop the melanin from working. That's why your skin get whiter.
Okay.
So that was very dangerous to your health. And in a long-term effects as well. So with that story, we're taking a short break, and up next, a very interesting story to catch up. A new political party has been formed.
Really?
The possible party leader said that this would be the choice for Thai people amid the ongoing trouble, conflicts, and so on.
Okay, good choice. And I have the updates on amnesty bill, so please stay tuned.